Ever wondered why your credit card feels like a clingy partner that keeps demanding more attention, and by attention I mean money? Well, today we're diving into the world of credit card interest rates. Imagine you're our friend John, a chap who, like many of us, uses his credit card with a certain carefree abandon. Now, John isn't a reckless fellow, mind you. He just loves the convenience of his shiny plastic friend. But alas, every month his credit card bill arrives with more surprises than a box of chocolates. Why, you ask? Well, it's all down to those elusive credit card interest rates. You see, they're a bit like that one friend who insists on splitting the bill to the very last penny at dinner. They're always there, often overlooked, but can make quite the impact when left unchecked. So, buckle up as we embark on this journey with John, a man whose credit card bill is more surprising than British weather. Meet John. He loves shopping, just like a squirrel loves nuts. He thinks his credit card is a magic plastic card that makes his shopping dreams come true. Now, John, he's a bit of a character. He's got a twinkle in his eye every time he swipes that shiny card of his. New shoes? Swipe. Fancy gadgets? Swipe. Exotic holidays? You guessed it, swipe. John's like a kid in a candy store, or should we say every store. He's got a taste for the good life, and his credit card is his golden ticket. But here's the wrinkle in our story. John, bless his heart, doesn't quite grasp the concept of credit card interest rates. He thinks, why worry about tomorrow when we can shop today? It's all fun and games until the bill comes due. Imagine John living his best life, thinking his credit card is akin to Aladdin's lamp, granting all his shopping wishes. Little does he know, every swipe adds to his debt, like a snowball rolling down a hill, growing larger and larger. And with each passing day, the interest on his outstanding balance is compounding, faster than rabbits in springtime. John sees his credit limit as a challenge, a mountain to conquer. He thinks, oh, I've got a limit of £5,000, challenge accepted, and off he goes, swiping away without a care in the world, oblivious to the avalanche of debt he's piling up. But here's the thing about reality, it has a knack for catching up. And for John, it was no different. His credit card, once a magic carpet, turned into a ticking time bomb. The interest was accumulating silently, stealthily, like a cat on the prowl. And then the bill came. It was as shocking as a cold shower in the middle of winter. John stared at his bill in disbelief, wondering if he accidentally bought a small island. But no, it was the interest rate playing its tricks. Picture this. John, a good friend of ours, had a grand time shopping last month. He was practically living in the moment, swiping his credit card left and right. But now he's staring at his bill, looking as if he's seen a ghost. Why? Because of the interest rate on his credit card. You see, John's credit card, much like most credit cards, comes with an interest rate. Think of this rate as the cost of borrowing money. Credit card companies aren't lending money out of the goodness of their hearts. No, they're in it to make a profit, and this profit comes from the interest rate. So let's say John bought a pair of shoes for $100 using his credit card. His card has a yearly interest rate of 20%. If he doesn't pay off his balance in full by the due date, he'll start accruing interest on that amount. Now, John, being the live-in-the-moment guy he is, only pays off $50. What happens next is where the magic starts. The remaining $50 on his card starts accruing interest. So after a month, John owes not just $50, but 50 plus the interest. This might not seem like much, but remember, John didn't just buy a pair of shoes. He went on a shopping spree, and the more he spent, the more interest accrued. Before he knew it, John's bill inflated like a balloon, leaving him in shock. It wasn't that he bought outrageously expensive items, but the interest on his unpaid balance that was piling up. John realized his credit card wasn't a magic card, it was more like a ticking time bomb. The moral of the story: understanding how credit card interest rates work can save you from a bill shock like John's. And remember, always pay off your balance in full if you can to avoid these interest charges. John decided to pull up his socks and understand this beast called interest rate. And oh boy, was it a revelation. Picture this. You're in a bustling market and there's this sly fox of a merchant. He says, take this apple now and you can pay me later. But when later comes, he also wants a slice of your pie. That's interest for you, my friends. John realized that when he swiped his credit card, he was essentially borrowing money from the bank. And the bank, being the shrewd merchant it is, charges him interest for this convenience. Now, this rate isn't as static as a waxwork at Madame Tussauds. No, sir. It changes based on factors like your credit score, the type of card you have, and even the whims and fancies of the market. But here's the kicker. John discovered that if he pays his bill in full every month, he could avoid those pesky interest charges altogether. Quite the plot twist, eh? You see, most credit cards come with a grace period. Pay off your balance within this time, and you won't owe a penny more than what you've spent. And then there's the fine print. John learned that this isn't like those terms and conditions we all blindly agree to when installing a new app. No, this is serious business. The fine print can contain vital information about your interest rate, including how it's calculated and when it can change. So reading it is as crucial as a spot of tea in the afternoon. John now treats his credit card like a tool, not a magic wand. And his bills? Well, they're as predictable as a British summer. So what have we learned from John's journey apart from not treating credit cards like magic wands? Let's take a moment to recap. First, we've seen how credit card interest rates can transform a shopping spree into a financial nightmare faster than you can say uncontrolled retail therapy. We've also learned that understanding how these rates work is as essential as knowing how to swipe the card itself. It's like knowing how to drive before getting behind the wheel of a car. You wouldn't want to crash your financial future, would you? Remember, credit cards are not your enemy. They're tools, just like a hammer or a wrench. They can help you build a great credit history, or they can smash your savings to smithereens. The outcome depends on how wisely you use them. And if you think credit card interest rates are complex, think again. They're just like a pot of English tea. Steep too long and it turns bitter. Pay off your balance promptly and you'll enjoy the sweet benefits without the bitter aftertaste. And that, dear viewers, is how you avoid a bill that hits harder than a double-decker bus.